Yes.
Okay, I'm going to call this meeting to order at 7:03 p.m. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that. Next on the agenda is roll call. Jamie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Queenie Barr.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Here.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Here.
Trustee Richard Chopra.
Here.
Trustee Rick Manning.
Here.
Trustee Ed Allen.
Here.
Trustee Denise Barr.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum, so we will continue on. Next on the agenda is the approval of the agenda, and I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the agenda as presented by staff. Second.
We have a motion by trustee Denise Bryant and a second by trustee Betsy Harrison to approve the agenda as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes of September 14th and the September 26th, 22 meetings. I will entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from September 14th and September 26th, 2022.
I'll second that motion.
So we have a motion by trustee Richard Toker and a second by trustee Ed Hallam to approve the minutes of September 14th and September 26th, 2022 as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sound.
I need to abstain from the first set, and I approve the second set. Vote to approve.
Okay, motion still carries, so we will move right along to audience business. Anybody here to speak about something that is not on the agenda? Okay, we will move right along to announcements. Heather, do you have any announcements?
We do have a few. Just a reminder, Jamie and I will miss the next meeting. We'll be at the Excel Annual Conference. So we're still having a meeting. Jamie and I will be here, and we can Cindy will run the meeting for us. We're continuing work on the source water protection plan. There are so many partners on this project. The project is going extremely well. We hope to have a draft for you to look at by maybe December or January. The Marshall's office building demolition is scheduled to begin on October 24th, so you'll see activity over there. The boundary adjustment plans for the school district project have been filed with the county. That project is now complete. And yes, so staff will work with the school staff to determine maintenance duties and timing and takes care of all that. But yeah, that's done. Plans for the airport property or gravel pit transfer back to the town were also accepted and signed by the county commissioners at their meeting on Tuesday. So those have been filed with the county. Now they will be submitted to the Division of Mining and Reclamation along with the application so that the state will authorize the return of that property back to the town. Jamie and I went to the school today and spent a couple hours over there. We went to students talking about the Parks and Trails Master Plan and getting their feedback. So we will be typing up those notes, sharing them with the consultant, and we hope to have a draft plan to you maybe sometime in December. That's all that I have. Terry, do you have anything? Is this good, Jamie? And Justin is on his chats.
Anybody from the board have anything? Okay. All right. Next on the agenda is the committee reports, Region 9. Denise?
Yeah, Region 9 had their meeting, and we there was a lot, and I don't want to, because Jason kind of went over a bunch of stuff, but we did pass a resolution, so they received money, like COVID money, and they have to be in compliance and with the policy and procedures with that. And they were, and so we passed a resolution for that. Then we approved their financial report, and that COG is, they're still working to integrate them with Region 9, so that's an ongoing thing, but that seems to be going well. And then we approved Dancing Spirit. It's a community arts center. It's in Ignacio, and they're going to be eligible for an enterprise zone. Oh, what else did we talk about? Okay, the big broadband that everyone so understands. It's a lot what Jason was just talking about. You know, Shaq is heading this up, and so there's a whole bunch of partners kind of coming together on this, and I don't understand it all. So again, the next steps is to kind of develop and establishing an IGA with all the partners. One of that took a lot of time was talking about housing. They put a number out that in the next 3 to 5 years, there's 100 affordable housing rentals already, and that's going to expire. So they're trying to figure out how to keep these 100 affordable housing units going in our region for the next 3 to 5 years. And then they also talked about developing another 152 affordable units. And then they broke that down by different counties and in the region. So for Montezuma, for us, it was 220 new housing units over the next 3 to 5 years. So that's a lot. But then even broke it down more to Mancos, it's five permanent residents, 5 units per year for the next 5 years is what they predict for us.
It's pretty lofty.
It is lofty, isn't it?
Single family homes, or what do they, when you say units, what do they look
I think units is like what we were talking about yesterday. So it can be not just single family home. I think we're kind of expanding from the single family home unit idea. I think we're looking much more at more duplexes and triplexes and apartments and so on.
So maybe ours that we have with the Common Press and Water District will be, what, that's going to be 4 or 5 maybe?
Yeah, we're ahead of the game for year 1. Done.
That's only 1 year.
That's 1 year, though, but that's a start.
One at a time.
That's more than what we've had before, so
Yeah.
that's great. Okay. All right, CDOT.
They did not have the meeting but they have one tomorrow at 9 o'clock.
Okay, so we need to put that on the October 26th. Okay, the Mancos School District.
We're not meeting. We discussed it. We kicked that one out. I don't know how it got included again.
Okay, the Montezuma County Commissioner update. Gerald, you're on the hot seat.
I'm sure most of you saw in the Cortez paper how Ironwood is progressing with their piles up there. We're basically have a court date this Friday over this situation. Those piles were supposed to be separated weeks ago, and Montezuma County Commissioners are not going to back off of this date for this Friday. They've procrastinated and lied to us, and we're moving forward. They're going to get this done one way or another. So that's the situation as far as the Board of County Commissioners are concerned, that we're not going to let the pressure off of them. They're going to get this done. Because if it goes ahead and goes into court, then they can be fined so much every day that they're not in compliance. And they're a month past that already. So, and they have done some work. Don't get me wrong. They have done some work, but it's not near enough. So, Montezuma County is not going to back off the pressure on them just because they started on it. they've messed around and messed around, so we're gonna keep putting pressure on them to make them get that done. We were off Monday, so we didn't have a workshop, but Tuesday, we didn't have a whole lot on our agenda this week. Other things is like reported, we have got the plat done for the airport property, get that turned back to you, or the property up here to get it turned back to you from the gravel pit and stuff, so
I think you
all of
guys are
that.
working on that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, it's all done and the sent in like she said, so hopefully that will get taken care of fairly rapidly with the state, but you never know. It's hard telling. Sometimes they respond pretty fast and sometimes it's really slow. So hopefully you can get that done so you can progress along with what you guys are needing to do up there. I spent all day today at Southwest Water over in Durango. We were doing our budget for that conservation district. Cleve Simpson will be our new senator after the first of the year, whenever this, with the redistricting stuff that happened. Don Corum will not be our senator anymore. Cleve Simpson will. He's from Alamosa. He's not up this term to be reelected, so he will be at least 2 more years. He's going to be our senator representing this whole area now with the redistrict thing that happened. He was present at our meeting over there today. He's actually a farmer and rancher out of the Alamosa area, born and raised there, so he's a native to the area. Seems like a real knowledgeable guy and seems like he's pretty easy to work with. Southwest is working a lot on the Colorado River issues, because basically Southwest represents these 9 counties that are in this southwest part of the state that contributes to the Colorado River. So we're working on the guidelines. There's going to be new sets of guidelines as far as how restrictions will be put on the river if there's a call ever put on the river, and what's going to happen in the meantime. There has been some give from the lower basin states. California has agreed to cut back 400,000 acre feet next year. They get about 4.6 million, and they are supposedly going to cut back 400,000. We'll see if that really happens, because it's never happened before. And it's just like this year, they were supposed to cut back, and it's not. It didn't happen. They ended up needing an extra 75,000 acre feet than what they're supposed to. So anyway, that's the main things I've been working on, is those policies and where we're going over there with that whole setup too. Each county has a representative on that board of the 9 counties in the Southwest to represent the people. Your tax money is going there. It's on your tax bill. So if you have issues that you want brought up at that, you just have to get a hold of me and let me know. Or anything direction you want us to, you think we should be proceeding in, but we're trying to look out for your water rights. There is some issues coming out, and I probably do need to talk to the rural water. There's some new standards they're trying to come out with your drinking water, and it's mainly those that come out of a lake. If you come out directly out of a stream into your plant, it doesn't apply. But if you're coming out of a reservoir, it does, and it's pretty stringent. So it's something that's coming down the pipe in the next couple of years that they're trying to get okayed. So it's something that you may have to look at in the future. So if that comes on forward way, I'll try to keep you updated on it. But it sounds like it's going to be pretty stringent, because they were really concerned about what it was going to do to some of these plants and stuff, that they wouldn't be able to meet those specifications at all. And like I said, it's just those that come out of a reservoir. If your water comes out of a reservoir into the plant, that's the ones they're concerned about. So Anyway,
Thank you.
Thank
John.
Thank you.
Okay, the next is the Montezuma County Planning Commission update. I attended the meeting on September 8th. There were 6 items on their agenda. There was just one that was up by the Summit area in the Mancos 1328 area, and it was just subdividing up a piece of property for family members. So the other 5 items they were read to us rather than the protest of us. So, and then their meeting will be tomorrow night, and I will be attending that meeting tomorrow night. So next on the agenda is the treasurer's report of the September bills and claims. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Where was the bat?
Outside of the back door right there.
Oh,
For a
okay.
couple of days, because I was sick, we had none.
Ah, good move. Thank you. Just curious.
Any other questions? Okay, I would entertain a motion.
I move we approve the treasurer's report as presented by staff.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Denise Bryant to accept the treasurer's report as presented by staff. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Okay, moving right along to our discussion and action items. First is the public hearing 2023 on our budget introduction. Probably do you want to start this? I don't have anybody signed up for the public hearing. Does anybody want to sign up to talk about? Okay. All right, so I'll open the public hearing. Open the public hearing at 7:20 p.m. and nobody has signed up and nobody wants to speak, so I will close the public hearing. And Heather, I will turn it over to you.
So this is the first legally required version of the budget. We've been talking about the budget for several months, but we are required by October 15th of every year to make it available to the public at a public hearing. The next public hearing will be in December when we adopt it at the first board meeting in December. But we will continue to talk about it between now and then. As of today, all of our operating and maintenance funds are balanced. We do have capital projects that are outlined in our capital improvement budget that will take us into reserves. So I kind of outlined that in the staff report for you all. And we attached kind of some the notes that I always give you that shows you our fund balance and how far either balanced or not balanced we are. And then just kind of some general notes. The one thing I do think we need to eventually talk about, and it doesn't have to be tonight, I would like you guys to kind of think about it, we don't have to do it in the next workshop. We budgeted for 5% next year. I just need to know for staff increases. So if you guys could just be thinking about, do you want that to be a full increase? Do you want that to be split between full and merit? Do you want to do some type of merit bonus? There are many things that we can do. Next year is technically a bonus year, not an increase year, but we're doing a full increase because this year there was quite a hit with inflation, and we kind of talked about that a little bit, so we decided to do a 5% increase next year. So that's the only thing that we still need to finalize. With the 5%, we're balanced. So I'll need some feedback from you on whatever else you're thinking about, and I can calculate it, go back to you and say, you know, if you want to do this as well. Yes, we're balanced, or no, kind of review this. So something to be thinking about for our next workshop.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody has any questions.
All I can say is thank you for making it readable and understandable. So, because there's a lot of information in here, and to be able to sit down and it's a lot more complicated than my household budget. And I have trouble understanding it sometimes, so thank you for making it understandable. Anybody else have anything? Okay, we're moving right along. We will is the La Rio Cantina Tavern. Heather, do you wanna, or Jamie?
Well, first I want to say the dates on the third paragraph down are not correct. I'm sorry. I
We
was
can't go back in time?
supposed to this stuff, and apparently that's not a good combination. So it should be October 20th and October 26th as the dates. But Jonah Navarro is wanting to open the tavern in Oklahoma.
In
And so what I
Oklahoma?
need from,
In Oklahoma?
I'm sorry, Colorado.
I was say, well, okay.
Well, I approve. They can have it.
They can have it. Like the Reeds.
I'm back home apparently. But we've gone over everything they turned in their paperwork, and so this is just for you guys to set the public hearing date and to set the parameters for the petitions.
What makes it a tavern instead of a bar?
As they call it, a tavern.
They call it.
Okay.
Type of license.
Tavern.
Well, yeah, but like, I don't know the difference. Is it because they serve peanuts or they don't serve peanuts or, you know, cause like some establishments
If you have
have
a
to.
tavern license, you have to serve some kind of nibbles.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
And the Department of Revenue doesn't have a bar license, it's called a tavern.
Oh, okay.
There are multiple license types, hotel, restaurant, tavern, art gallery.
Okay.
And if you want a bar, like what we think of as a bar,
Mhm.
the Department of Revenue is a tavern license.
Okay, so
Okay.
we're stuck in the 1800s.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, thank you.
So we need to set a hearing date, is that correct?
We need to set the parameters,
Okay,
and so, and then,
okay, public hearing date, okay. So what's an example of the parameters?
Parameters are within the
Perimeter.
town of Mancos, within so many feet around. I mean, you have so many.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
Generally, historically, what the board has done, at least for the past 14 years, is what you're doing is both the marshal's office and the applicant is going to circulate, they're going to circulate petitions for and against, and they're going to collect signatures. So what you need to do is you need to set that perimeter, where they can circulate those petitions.
oh,
For
okay,
14 years, it's been the town of Mancos, so they can only circulate their petitions within the boundaries of the town of Mancos, if you set that. And then you also need to set a public hearing, because the new license, the state requires that it be heard at the public hearing. So the public has the opportunity to come and give their comments.
okay.
They've also posted a giant sign on the door,
Mhm.
posted in the newspaper,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. Well, I think the establishing the perimeter as the town of Mancos boundaries makes sense, because in-town people are the ones that are gonna be dealing with impacts. So, that makes sense to me.
I agree.
And again, it doesn't mean that every town citizen has to be, you know, that's just only people within the town, because the marshal and the applicant will go and solicit randomly people within the town. Yeah, so it's not like, they're not gonna be 100% to every person in town, but anyone that they deal with will reside in the town. Anyone that will be allowed to give a yay or a nay, you know, to oppose or for opinion.
And there's no minimum required number of signatures.
Mm.
So we've seen petitions come back with 4 signatures, and then we've seen, but there is no minimum number.
What do we do with those petitions once we get them back?
Staff gets them back. We don't generally make those public. What we do is in our staff report, they are public record if someone submits a petition request, but it does ask for an address. So we're not gonna put it in the board packet
yeah,
that we guys on the website.
But like if you'll tell us, there were 25 signatures on plus and 15 on minus or something.
Yeah.
That'll be included in the staff report, JD staff report here next week.
And at the meeting, people have there'll be those to speak for and those that can speak against. They'll both be there. You know, there'll be a sheet for those who wish for and those who wish against. And generally, you pick one for, one against, one for, one against. you do that process if the numbers balance.
So what's the adequate date for a public hearing?
I'm sorry?
What's the adequate time that we should set for a public hearing?
October 26th.
Is that when you have it?
July 20th, 2009,
Yeah,
'Cause that's what
Yeah, I like that.
you gotta build the time machine first.
in Oklahoma.
You know,
I was trying to
But now,
Poor Jamie.
I don't have an old document.
yeah, and you're not
Yeah,
feeling well,
yeah.
trying to
Yeah.
get through it.
Copy and
Um,
paste.
The thing is we would do this on a standard date, so yeah, we do have the October. But we would have to have the verification of signatures before the 26th, would we not? We would have to move that forward.
Yes, is when we are requesting them back.
Oh, for signature verification,
That's in the third.
for, here, yeah,
Gives them 11 days.
for the, okay, I'm reading it, I just read it forward, okay, my mistake.
Yeah.
See, I'm making two.
So once we set the parameters, then they will start circulating.
Immediately.
And have it back to them by the 20th, so we can have.
Right. For, okay,
Verification for the 26th,
perfect.
if that's the date we set. Any other comments? Betsy, do you have anything?
Well,
Richard?
I think the parameters are fine.
okay, I'll make a motion that we set the parameters for the.
Perimeters.
Perimeters for, as the town bounds, and that we set the public hearing for the 26th of October 2022.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Ed Hallam and a second by trustee Richard Toker to set the boundaries for the perimeters for the city limits of, the town limits of Mancos, and to set the public hearing for October 26, 2022. Jamie, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Tucker.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Holland.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Brown.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Okay, next on the agenda is the 2023 agency contributions, our first round. Heather, would you introduce this?
So this is the first round of agency contribution requests for 2023. Anything that's approved tonight, the check will be cut in January of 2020. We received 8 contribution requests, all of them were complete and comply. The request totaled $12,000, and that is the exact number that you have proposed for 2023 budget for next year. So if you approve all 8 requests tonight, then there will be no second round of agency contributions in 2020. Unless you choose to increase the line item in one of our next special workshops and then adopt it in September. And all of the applicants were invited to attend, so that if you all have any questions on the applications that were included in here, they should be here. So if you want to call them or call access and call forward, they should have representatives here to come to the podium and answer any questions that you all may have on their application.
Okay. All right, so we will start with Access Health. Is there somebody from Access Health here? Do you want to come up and present real fast?
Sure.
We'll give you 5 minutes to present.
Thank you for having me. My name is Haley Leonard Saunders. I'm the Director of Public Relations for Access Health System. We're a mental health, primary care, oral health, and crisis care provider for 11 counties in Southwest Colorado and what we call now the Midwest Colorado, coming up with our own name for it. Tonight I'm here because we have asked for an agency contribution to our acute treatment unit. It is the only psychiatric stabilization unit in Southwest Colorado. It plays a really important role for a lot of community members and prevents the need for transport to inpatient facilities outside of the area, which is often really detrimental to families and some patients. So we're able to offer the acute treatment unit as a part of our continuum of care, keep people local, try to meet their needs here, and then quickly get them back into an outpatient setting or with their family, whatever is the best treatment path for them. It might seem like a small ask for a big facility, but every dollar counts for the acute treatment unit. We do get some funding from our state contracts, but a lot of the funding that we get is from long-standing partnerships with community organizations and government, and we really couldn't do it without your support. A day at the acute treatment unit is $1,300, and we don't turn anyone away that needs that. And that's just covering the bare bones to make sure that they get what they need for the day. It's a 24/7 operation, and requires a pretty high level of staff all the time. So if we're able to help one person or 250 people with the cost of care, we absolutely try to do that, and that's why I'm here tonight.
How many people are affected with that unit, like annually?
About 250. Yeah.
Do you have any numbers on how many from within town limits?
So this year we've had a couple of cases. I can't share the exact number for privacy. And they have accounted for quite a few days of care in comparison to last year, which tells me that they were able to help these individuals stay local. In comparison to last year, this small number has already exceeded what we, more people in year prior. So it's kind of interesting. I also think that the community intervention program that you were all so generous and supportive with has really helped identify some needs earlier. So the number of individuals that are needing acute treatment unit services, end of day for me, is considerably less than years prior. So I do think there's a correlation there, and that makes me really happy.
Yeah, that was in
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this unit is in Durango, is that?
It is.
Okay.
It is.
It's still closer to Grand Junction or Pueblo.
Certainly is. Yeah. And the goal, generally people are there 5 days on average. But, we'll do whatever it takes to keep people out of higher levels of care. So 20 days, we've had people there 6 weeks. They're able to be really flexible depending on people's needs.
Thank you.
Sure.
Appreciate that.
Any other questions? Okay. You know where to find me.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. So the next one is Four Corners Recycling.
Hey folks, my name's Casey. I'm from Four Corners Recycling. I'm a board member there. Spoken to many of you before. We're asking for an agency contribution. For some context, last year we received $11,246.25 from the state as a rebate for the recycling for the entire county that we do at our free public drop-off sites. And this year so far, we've spent $12,320 on Mancos. Obviously, this is an issue. We have our entire operation is funded through these state rebates, and we do receive direct public support as well from the town of Mancos and individual donors, the town of Dolores, and the Dolores Public Lands Office as well. We're just trying to keep the bins here in Mancos for people to use. People are clearly using them. because they're always too full. We would like to pull them more frequently. And, you know, we don't have the money to do it more frequently, and that's why we're hoping to get the agency contribution, for sure. Any questions?
I have a question, maybe Heather, maybe you. It says on our spreadsheet here that there's an overlap.
Oh,
And I was just gonna ask,
I think that should have been,
okay. All right.
Any other questions?
Does the county, Montezuma County contribute also? I did not see that.
The county does not. The town bins are located within towns, and then the Dolores Public Lands Office is paid for. So in the past, when I've approached the county, their argument has been that where they're located is.
But Mancos is equally in the county as anyone else. We are no less, nor is Dolores, nor is Cortez, less in the county than anyone in the rural area. It's, you know, where their location has little relevance because I use them and I go there and I see, almost every time I'm there, I see someone from the county using them. Someone that's in the rural area, not within the town limits. We don't, the Mancos units nor the Dolores units or any other unit is exclusive to the municipality. They're open to the total general public, which is all county residents, not just those within the location of the bin. So
Yeah,
I would highly suggest that you would pursue the county in addition to. I think the program has been outstanding and it's obvious, very successful for the fact that every time I go there, I'm shoving stuff in to get it in. And it's not your fault, it's the fact that they're well utilized. And that is the whole purpose. So I commend the fact that it's working, but you know, I would love to see it continue.
I appreciate that, and knowing that there's a county commissioner in the room helps, and I will pursue that as well.
Sorry, Gerald. We're not picking on you.
Come on, Gerald. What other funding do you get in addition to asking from us and presumably the other towns? Like what other funding sources? Because I know several years back, we encouraged going out and seeking other grants and things because, you know, there's only so much we can do.
Absolutely. So we received $500 from the San Juan Basin Recycling Association in a matching grant this year. Like I said, we receive the majority of it is rebates based on the weight of the commodities that we take to the landfill. We have individual donors. The towns, the school districts also contribute. So mostly public institutions are the donors at this time. Alpaca's donated quite a bit in the past. We're applying for some funds from Osprey, kind of the usual suspects as far as like local donors go. We do have a Dining for Recycling event coming up that Absolute typically donates to, Mancos Brewery donates to, we're approaching Fence Line, other area restaurants as well. Some Cortez businesses, Dolores restaurants as well. So, and that added up last year to $3,875 of direct public contribution.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, appreciate that.
Thank you.
I also want to recommend Robert Meyer, I believe is here from the Trails Group, to give you an update because they received a contribution in the last round. So you guys have asked them whether you received a contribution. That's about to give you an update. So he's also here.
Okay. All right. Okay. Hospice of Montezuma, Susan.
I'm Chelsea Lenders and here to represent Hospice of Montezuma. So I'm a grant writer for hospice and I'm also a volunteer. So I get to sit with hospice patients and I've really gotten to know a lot about grief and end of life over the last couple of years. So Hospice of Montezuma has been around for 33 years. We serve all of Montezuma County and Dolores County and also a little bit of San Miguel County. I'll start with some numbers for you guys. So January through September of 2022, we served 89 patients that were at the end of life. 15% of our patient population comes from Mancos. So that's 13 patients who have received hospice end-of-life care this year. We received $1,500 from you guys for 2022 and really appreciate that. But what I really want to talk to you about is our bereavement program. So our mission is to provide really quality end-of-life care to anyone in our community who needs it. And that absolutely 100% involves grief and loss. So really, we provide support to the loved ones of hospice patients who are experiencing grief and loss. We provide grief support to those who are at the end of life and experiencing the grief of their own life, or their own life. But we also provide grief support to the broader community. So it's not just people who have been involved with the hospice designated care. Anyone who reaches out to us or walks through our door that is experiencing any kind of loss, that could be the loss of a life, it could be the loss of a pet, it could be the loss of a job. There's all kinds of ways that we support grief. Anyone who walks through the door will get grief support, and it's really quality grief support, and I can speak to that personally. So what I would say is that this program is entirely funded through grants and donations. So while the end-of-life care is reimbursed through Medicare and Medicaid, the support that we provide on top of that for grief it comes entirely through support from you guys, for example. So we provide this care in the form of one-on-one counseling, support groups, and mailings. And I actually just learned about why mailings are so important, because when you receive something in the mail, it may be several months after you've lost someone, but it's a reminder that hospice is there with our one-on-one counseling and support groups. So that's actually a really important aspect of the care. And in 2022, we've supported a little bit over 200 individuals through the bereavement program so far. So if we break it down again to 15% of that population is in Mancos, that's around 30 individuals. So we're asking for another $1,500 this year to keep it going. Our main goal, both in 2022 and 2023, is to increase awareness. And so that's increasing awareness that grief is a healing process, and also increasing awareness that hospice can support you in your grief process. And we do that through presentations. A lot of that has been through partnerships, like with Access Health System, presentations to members of their staff so that they know how to partner with us and refer people to us for grief support. We also do that through social media. So that's kind of like gently correcting misconceptions about dying and grief and letting people know that we're there. The outcomes of this kind of outreach, we've seen huge engagement in our support groups. Of course, coming out of 2020, it's been great to have the FaceTime with people again, but our support groups have really gotten a lot of attendance this year. And then also our collaborations are going really well. We're getting out there and communicating with a lot more organizations, hoping to give a presentation at the all-staff meeting for Southwest Health Systems, which would mean we've had to have a huge audience to be able to say, hey, hospice is here to provide grief support. We really work with physicians too to try to help them understand how to refer people to hospice. So that's what I have to share. Any questions? Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
Okay, next is Mount Lookout Range.
Good evening, thanks for hearing me. I'm Catherine Fulton, I'm on the board of Mount Lookout Grange. The funds that we're requesting are not directly, would not directly go to the Grange. We're asking for funds to support an event in support of the community. There have, since the pandemic, a lot of organizations, nonprofit organizations have cropped up, mostly in support of children and families. Some examples of these are Montezuma Youth Alliance, Mancos United, Mancos Food Share, Montezuma Inspire Coalition, Montezuma Safe, the Gear Lending Library, and there are others that I'm not naming. It's this myriad of nonprofits that seem to mostly be in support of the same goals. And so the purpose of the funds that we are requesting is to host a summit or a meeting of representatives from these organizations, as well as the other community members. And the purpose would be to facilitate conversation among these entities, to find ways to support each other. Also, importantly, to educate others in the community about these valuable resources, especially those in leadership roles, educators, healthcare providers, law enforcement, the business community, and any other interested citizens. And so working with Mount Lookout Grange, some of the members of the steering committee of Mount Lookout Grange, our Mancos Chamber of Commerce, Mancos Valley Resources, and the Mancos Creative District. We've all been in conversation about hosting this summit. And we'd just like to invite the community to find out what's happening and share these valuable resources with those who need to know. Any educator or law enforcement or business person who comes in contact with somebody in need of something specific, say, oh, hey, I know about this organization. Or perhaps, the organizations can come together and say, well, we're kind of being redundant here. Maybe we could work together on some certain goal that we're trying to achieve. Yes, so we're asking for the money so that we can provide a quality, a well-organized event. And we'd like to have an event coordinator, and we'd like to have a facilitator, and then some money just for logistical needs and for, to host the event. And Mount Lookout Grange will be providing our hall free of rent. And this would probably happen in late winter 2023. Any questions?
Did you say winter of 2022?
23.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh no, I mean,
March-ish.
in about February of 23.
Is this something you've done before? Is this a new?
Apparently, this was done in about 2013 or so. I wasn't around then, but it apparently was a successful event. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hope to see you there.
Okay, so the next one is the Mancos Common Press.
Hi, my name is Rosie Carter. I'm the shop manager at the Mancos Common Press. Thanks for having me here this evening. My job is to keep the press organized and to also organize programming and develop programming for the press. As you probably all know, the Mancos Common Press is housed in the historic Mancos Times building on Grand Ave, which was renovated by the organization and now operates as a community letterpress shop. And throughout the year, we host all sorts of programming. A lot of it is classes for the community where no one needs any experience to come and work with the historic presses to make holiday note cards or Valentine's Day cards. We also train people to use all the equipment there, and then they can work independently, and we call that our press club. And we have a growing group of people who pay a small fee every month and then have access to work there on their own time. We're open to visitors whenever there's someone working there. So people can come and learn about the history of the newspaper, about the press, and about how it's been renovated and operates now. And this evening, we're asking for our agency contribution to help establish a scholarship fund. We bring a lot of people through the press, through, like I said, the classes. We do artists in residence. We have open houses and pop-up events. And throughout the year, probably anywhere from 500 to 800 people come through the press and experience the press in a variety of ways. And that includes school children too. We've had a lot of school groups come through, and they like run the presses and printed all sorts of things, and it's really fun to have them come. And we want to continue to grow our programming and provide more and more opportunities for people in Mancos to come together at the press. I think a really important part of this is, it's really fun to come and, use these old presses and be creative and make something, with your hands. But really what all the programming is about is bringing community together. And these activities offer ways for people from all different backgrounds, from all different parts of our community to come together and work together and have fun in making something creative at the press. So the scholarship fund would help us really diversify the people who can come and take classes, because right now the classes fund themselves. So the fees for the classes go directly to pay the instructor and to have the lights on and provide for the materials. And then we also offer opportunities that the people who teach the classes or host the event volunteer. So there, it's a money in, money out venture. And the classes cost money. We like to pay our instructor as well. And so because of that, sometimes people can't afford to take these classes. And it's really important to us to have as many different types of people as possible be able to experience working at the press, bringing community together that way in a really diverse way. So that's what the scholarship fund would help us do. This would be establishing a new program. We don't currently have a scholarship fund, although we have been able to offer a couple scholarships just informally through donations in the past. But we'd like to really develop this as an ongoing program so that we can offer more affordable options at the press. Are there any questions?
So would the scholarships be used for Mancos residents or Mancos Valley or outside here?
Or anybody that showed up.
Or anybody that showed up? I mean.
Yeah, we haven't actually discussed that yet. That could certainly be like if you all wanted to pinpoint these funds specifically for Mancos residents or Mancos Valley, that could certainly be done.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay. The next one is the Mancos Food Share. No one here? All right, the next one is the Mancos Valley Resources.
Good evening. My name is Lori Webster, and I'm representing the board of Mancos Valley Resources. And our organization has been operating in the Mancos Valley for more than 30 years, serving as a pass-through and fiscal umbrella for various nonprofit organizations in the Mancos Valley. And we currently have 15 projects. And the services that we provide to our projects are administrative and financial oversight, tax preparation, helping with grant writing, and just a number of administrative services for the various projects. Our projects in 2021 served about 12,000 people locally. And our projects represent various projects in the valley, but we're also the only fiscal sponsor for the town of Mancos. So our revenue comes from a number of local grants, and then we have two major fundraising events, the Mancos Valley River Film Festival that just happened, and the Brew Fest. So, if you want information about our 15 projects, I can tell you about who they are. Let's see what else. So we're requesting $1,500 from the town of Mancos that would go towards our operating budget, which is about $35,000. And so that money would go to our administrator, our rent, our tax preparation services, and things like that. So, are there any questions, more specific questions I can answer about the organization?
Do you just have, how many employees? Do you just employ one?
We have one employee, and that's been Kim Cox, and she just retired.
Oh, she did?
Yes, and her last day was last Friday. And last night, the board got together and we interviewed a candidate that I think has been offered the job today, but I don't have that specifically. But if she gets it, she's a wonderful person.
So you just have one employee?
We have one employee, everybody else is volunteer.
Okay.
Yeah. Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
The next one then is School Community Youth Collaboration.
Hello, I'm Christine Bryce Nelson, and I am not used to being at the end of the alphabet, so I was nervous sitting there the whole time. I'm from the School Community Youth Collaborative. We are an organization that serves youth and puts youth voice first. And our specific request from the town of Mancos is a support for our out-of-school time programs. Our out-of-school time programs serve 4 different schools in Montezuma County, one of those being Mancos schools. We started last year, and last year I just did our evaluation report. We served 299 unduplicated students at Mancos schools, and we just did our reporting for our first month, and we've served 146 Mancos students so far this school year. And we are seeking some funding from you all because we have a large 21st Century grant that has a lot of stipulations around the out-of-school time programming that we can fund. And it's basically meant to serve as like seed money for us to get these programs started. And it has certainly helped with that. So what we're looking for is to help fund the Girls on the Run program run by the Mancos schools. And we use like a positive youth development lens to help these girls. I don't specifically, just to be clear, I don't run the organization of Girls on the Run, but we do support the Girls on the Run program here in Mancos, and we're just seeking additional funding for that program. And I think the biggest thing for me is I've worked at a lot of different nonprofits. I've worked in a lot of youth serving organizations, and I think School Community Youth Collaborative, we just really put youth first, and we always think about like, okay, we're going to do this thing, but like, what do the kids that we're serving think? What do they want? And even if it conflicts with our own, we try to put their needs first. And I think the Girls on the Run program is a great reflection of that type of service to the youth in the community. And I basically don't want to repeat a ton of what's in the grant already, but if you guys have any questions, I'm open to it.
Do you have any questions? Okay.
How many girls are in the program?
24.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And last but not least, Mancos Trails Group. Do you want to come give us your report?
Sure.
Good evening. Thanks for having me. I'm Robert Meyer. I'm with the Mancos Trails Group. We received a generous donation of $1,500 from the Town of Mancos Agency Grant. And in our applications, we said that we would spend it on both evaluating the property east of the water tanks along County Road 42, as well as the town trail systems between the parks. And so I'm here to report on that. What you have in front of you is a map produced by Big Loop Trails, whom we hired to come look at that property along with us and evaluate it for its suitability for trail system. And we're talking non-motorized trails with this. The total mileage that we've come up with at this point is about 4.5 miles. It's really interesting terrain. It goes through that ravine and rises up to the other side. And there's a really nice overlook of town from the high point that you can see from town. It's kind of above that bald face. And so we've included that in loop number 3 there. There's a little guy with a telescope on your map. So as the Mancos Trails Master Plan, which you guys approved in 2012, identified this area as a possible location for some local town trails. So it is feasible. Right now, the contractor, Big Loop Trails, who we work with, is working out at the Aqueduct Trails. And his prices are going to be going up just like everything else. Right now, he's running at $4,000 a mile. I would imagine by the time we get around to this system, it'll be more than that. So that kind of gives you an idea of what we'll be looking at. There's some considerations that will need to be worked out with staff. Where we've identified a possible parking lot, there is also some infrastructure in that area, and to get a road to that parking area, we're going to be going really close to some of the rural water pressure relief valves. So we've got to, kind of be very cognizant of all that and make sure that it's all going to work. There is some parking on up higher where there's that other little icon of a guy with a backpack. But if we have all the parking there, then our littlest kids in the community aren't really going to be able to access the gentler terrain down below. And so that's why it's more ideal to have the parking just adjacent to the water plant. There is some flat ground in there. There are distribution lines that we're aware of, and we'll have to work around all of that sort of thing. Right now, this isn't a project that we're raring to get started on. We've got our hands full at the moment, and things are going very well with everything else. But want you guys to know that this is on the radar. It seems that the trail systems that we've wrapped up the Chicken Creek project. It is complete with the Forest Service, or maybe a little bit of odds and ends that need to be done up there. It looks like we'll probably be finished with the aqueduct trails before the closure begins on December 1st. So Mancos, starting next year, Mancos will have 2 full running trail systems. We're already getting a lot of people coming into the area. Another grant that we've applied for has a little bit of money to help with an economic development study to try to get some idea of what kind of economic benefit there is from trails. So we're also working in that direction. I understand the county's working on that too, so we may be combining forces there. The other part of the money was about $500 that we are putting towards the trail systems here in town that go between the parks. That partnership was kind of put into a hiatus last year as COVID kind of went through the schools, and everybody I was working with got pulled in to do teaching duties, and we kind of suspended the partnership at that point in time. We've met again. We're back on track. We should be getting out on the ground and adding more footprints along the way so they're a lot more complete between the parks. We still have 1 kiosk to build to go into Boyle Park, or maybe we need to consider a different place since Boyle Park may be completely revamped. I was thinking maybe a possible location would be the town property north of the old post office, or at least for temporary location to get that last kiosk into place. So we'll be using that money for continuing that project. Probably most of it will go for cases on the kiosks that are weather protected so that the kids can produce and mount their work, and we can have displays about Mancos Trails Group in there and stuff like that. We are greatly appreciative of the money. I think we're putting it to good use as we said we would. We have a great resource in the area, Big Loop Trails. Without the help of Sean Gregory with Big Loop Trails, we'd be a little less adept at getting this kind of thing to you. So it's been a great benefit. We really appreciate the partnership with the town, and we hope to be back with you guys soon with further updates on this project, and hopefully we can get another little trail system going right outside of town.
Just be aware though that the old post office place, that being demolished, so that park next to it may not be available because they're going to be putting up fences so we can put a new building.
Okay.
So
All right.
that's going to be our new marshal's office. So
You're right. Okay.
that work will be starting fairly soon. So just be aware that that's not going to be available.
Okay. Well, we'll get that last kiosk in somewhere somehow, sometime.
It's going somewhere.
Thank you for coming back.
You bet.
And
Thanks,
Robert.
Thanks for the update.
Yay.
Good work.
Okay, we've got our, well, we had 8. We had 1, it was a no-show. And previously, the board did not give to someone who didn't take the time to come and see us and talk to us about what they were going to spend our money for. That's been the last 13 years that I've been on the board. So that takes us down to 7, if that's how the board wishes to go. And so I'm going to, I will start with Denise. You want to go the whole 12,000? You want to go with 6,000? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts. I think we should not spend the whole amount, and so we can hear for next year some others that would be how much should we spend this time. I'm not. I'll have to think that, and as everyone else comments, But, yeah, I think if we could save some of this money for the next round, and some of these people would just reapply for the next round, right? Is that how that would go?
If they wish.
If they wish, yeah.
Okay, Richard.
I think they're all valuable programs for the community, and it seems like they all have things to do with the town. I'm on board with Queenie, though, if somebody's not able to come and speak to us about where the money's going, I don't think we ought to give them the money. I think they ought to come and ask us for it and tell us what they're spending.
I agree that we should spend the funds. I guess the first question is we're asking all of them to come back and give us a report. Mancos Trails did. They were the only ones that were in last year's acceptance. So no one from last year's second group did not. No, from the second round. They were the only ones in the second round. Yeah, they were the only ones. Yeah, so everyone's met that obligation, because that was equally as important, I feel, is not just to come here and request, but to come and give us a follow-up. Right. Everyone so far, that even these people, because most of these have received grants from us before, but they've all met that obligation. I wanted that to be known, and I appreciate that Mancos Trails did that. And they're not asking for money, but they did come anyway, which, a lot of them get the money and then they in the past, just didn't come back. It was like, we got the money, we ran. So, I feel that we should hold some money back. I don't think any one of these programs should be eliminated. I think they're all viable for the area. And the only way that I can see doing that is to reduce each one of theirs amount, but or some of theirs more than others. But I think that's going to be a tough decision for us to make, and based on the importance and the desires of each one of these groups. So I don't know how easy that's going to be to do, but it's our job.
That's it.
I was hoping you wouldn't put me on the spot.
Everybody has to be put on the spot.
I just had some big picture thoughts when I was looking at the list, because some of the organizations are very small, don't have big budgets, are definitely focused on Mancos. Some of the organizations have huge budgets, and what they ask us for is kind of a drop in the bucket financially, but it's at the same time it says we appreciate what you do for the town, and so I had a terrible time. So I just want to give the money to everybody. And I think I don't feel that strongly about keeping some back. I mean, if we went with this, we would keep back the Mancos food share.
$1,500.
So we would keep that back, and if we wanted to cut some of the others back a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I just don't feel that strongly. I mean, we're coming out of a bad year, and people are getting ready for next year, and finances have not been that good, and they're not looking that good, and so I would be more inclined to just go with it.
I do want to say, the rules of this program state that if someone receives funding this round, they cannot apply the next round.
Right.
So,
Interesting.
Yeah, within the same.
I was just going to say.
I forgot that, yes.
So don't think that if you give one of them, say $1,000, that they can apply the next round because they didn't get their full ask. No, they cannot apply again until next year.
I forgot that.
So something for you all to consider when you're making your decision.
Thank you for the reminder.
I remember that.
I do now.
I'm with Betsy, we just need more money.
The town needs money too.
Yeah, can we ask for money? I agree with holding some for our next cycle feels important. Because there are probably people who maybe couldn't be here or didn't have time to get the application in, but are still worthy of the money. measuring impact feels difficult because, I'm with Betsy kind of looking at the P&Ls and looking at the size of some of these organizations. It's a drop in the bucket for some, but for some it may have greater impact, but it's really hard to say, kind of comparing apples to oranges in this case. And all these organizations seem very worthwhile to fund. The money does feel symbolic in some cases. It's more of a display of like, yes, we value you and we want you to be in our community, and that feels really important, as well as fully funding something that may, the money may go further in a smaller case, more acute need. So I have no idea. I think they all deserve money based on the presentations. I do agree that the no-show is a no-go in my mind. Yeah, that's what I got.
Cindy?
I am kind of thinking along the same lines as Betsy. I don't really see a need to withhold, and do equal amounts now on the second one. I think we have a bunch of people now. If we were to cut it down to 6, and give the full ask to 6 of them, or 4 of them, I'm sorry, math. I would be leaning toward the medical, the kids, kind of those asks. But other than the no-show, I don't see any reason to hold any of it back. Of course, that's going to make our next round really interesting because, if 10 people show up and we got $1,500, that's going to be fun.
Well, if the 10 people show up, we won't have any money to even offer that, right?
Well, if we spend it all,
if we spend it all, there won't.
Right, but I'm saying other than the no-show.
But we have,
So,
we have 1,500
So then you'll
regardless.
have 1,500
Right.
left out of this.
So just figuring it really fast, if we take the 1,500 off of the 12, that gives us $10,500. If you got 7 organizations that ask for money, they're asking $1,500 each of them. If we gave them $1,000 each, that would still leave us $3,500 to start our next go around. And that's giving each of them something. I know it's not the full amount, but it's $1,000 they didn't have yesterday. And that way we're not having to say, well, let's give this one 500 and that one 1,500. We're going 1,000 across the board to the 7 that actually showed up to talk to us. And that would still leave us $3,500 just to start our second round.
Can I amend my statement slightly?
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of disappointed with the recycling group because we've been asking them for years to look for other funding. And, a lot of the folks that come before us are like, we hold this event and we're doing this fundraiser and so they're really trying to get money in, and it just feels like the recycling folks aren't really putting forth a lot of effort other than just coming and asking us. And so if we donate money to them, I think we need to make it really clear that we're really looking for them to step up and get funding from other places. There's all kinds of grants and stuff out there. So, I don't know. I was kind of disappointed.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that the county, they said, well, it's because it's in the town, that makes no sense to me.
Yeah, but that's the county's issue. That's not.
Well, but
his
that
issue.
should, but they should have that argument.
Yeah.
What makes a Mancos citizen less a county resident than anyone else?
Right.
We've argued that for years.
If we had the marshals sit out there and check your address, and there might be enough space
Public
for
outdoor.
my cardboard.
Exactly.
I think he's got better things to do.
Darn it.
Well, we even found when we had our town cleanup, that we had it on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. By noon on Thursday, it was full, and 90% of the people that came to our cleanup was
County residents.
county residents. They were not Mancos residents.
Rural residents. We can't say, because we're all county residents. That's where we screw up.
Rural residents. So,
Rural
we face that
Yeah.
locally too, we can't afford staff to sit down there and check out.
Well, maybe as far as the recycling, and then Well, first of all, Queenie, I agree. In fact, I wrote that down, that maybe everybody kind of get 1,000, so that way we have a little bit left over. I know it's not the full amount. And then maybe just offer the recycling like 500 instead of 1,000, and then we'll have a little extra for next time around.
Yeah, you'd have 4,000 for the next round.
If you gave me 750, you'd have,
But by the looks of what,
750.
so by the looks of what we don't handed out in years past, these are about the only ones that ever come and ask us for money.
Yeah, I think there was only one group that has never received a grant.
And that's what I'm saying. So if we hold back $3,000, we could end up holding it till the very end. And that's not the whole idea of the program.
Well, we give it twice.
Yeah, but they can't apply again.
Right.
So none of these folks, so it has to be in a whole new group of
Right.
people.
Nobody may come back that second round though, if this is, like you saying, it's
Yeah.
consistent.
Well, isn't that what happened last year? Wasn't the Mancos Trails the only one that came? That's exactly what happened
I
last year.
came for the common press last.
And we denied? No, in the second round.
I mean, to say thank you,
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, no, we're talking about for requests.
just to clarify.
Okay, yeah, no, like I said, everyone's met their obligation, because I did note that only one of this group had never received a grant from us.
Yeah. I mean, based on that logic, I'm kind of pro, let's fund them all at full capacity minus the food share, right?
And what's your feeling on the recycling?
I wasn't super impressed, I think, to that same point. I mean, I almost want to say, if we deny them, can they come back and apply? Or is it
Yes.
almost want to deny and say, come back
If
with,
anybody gets zero funding, they can apply.
they can apply? Yeah, I'm almost of the mind, to deny and give the feedback. We'd like you to pursue other forms of funding. If they've been given that feedback in the past and haven't really gone that route.
Right.
You know, maybe it's a chance to say, try.
So if we spend it all and then the trail group comes back, we won't have any to give to them.
Well, no,
We
what
don't.
he's saying is we already have 1,500, regardless, we have 1,500.
Oh, because we're not going to
Regardless, we have
fund,
1,500.
The food share.
because we're not going, okay, so that would that would be the only amount we have left.
Well,
And or if we reduce
The amount,
towards recycling,
okay.
then we would have 3,000.
3,000, okay.
Or if
All
we
right.
partially fund them, we would have that difference.
Sure.
I hate to say this, but we just don't have enough money to take care of all the groups.
We don't.
And then if the Grange, if we give the Grange money and they go through and they get all these other groups together and tell them.
Yeah.
to come
Hey, go to town, they got free money.
It should be a great problem to have.
Yeah.
I do think it should be equitable. I feel like us saying 1,000 here and 500 there gets a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Awkward. Yeah.
I agree.
It's better if they ask for less, then it's easier to say yeah.
No, they should have got together.
Well, Nick, I kind of like what, if we don't fund then the food share for their not show and then not fund the recycling, we would have some money left over at least for 2 organizations next round to apply.
And I'm just going to kick in here. I think that the Grange doing that collaboration, because there are a lot of organizations out there that are overlapping right now. It seems like we're getting a lot. I don't know. They don't think that they can find somebody to donate to do the coordinating on that? It seems $500 for an event coordinator seems a little much to me, but I don't know. But if we're going to go equal across the board, we have to go equal across the board. So
That seems, 500 seems cheap to me.
I guess I've just done too many events and didn't get paid for it.
Sure,
So
sure.
I just. Okay. Am I got a motion?
Sure.
It is.
Because I math well. I move that we grant the full amount of $1,500 to each of the following, $1,500 each to each of the following requesters: Access Health Systems, Hospice of Montezuma, Mount Lookout Grange, Mancos Common Press, Mancos Valley Resources, and School Community Youth Collaborative.
Yeah, second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee McManning to give $1,500 each to the following: Access Health Systems, Hospice of Montezuma, Mount Lookout Grange, Mancos Common Press, Mancos Valley Resources, and School Community Youth Collaborative. Do we want to put in the motion that we reach out to the recycling to reach out or no?
If they ask, to reach out to have them come back and report to us. If they come back and ask why they didn't get it, you can just fill them in.
Everybody will receive a letter that says you either receive the board approved this much, your check will be cut on this date, or the letter, excuse me, that says the board did not approve your request. This is why, based on your discussion tonight, and you're encouraged to apply to the next round. And then generally what I try to do sooner rather than later is before the next round, I'll reach out to everybody who got funding this time and say, can you please come back and present your reports to the board? Sometimes there are organizations that cannot make it to the board meeting, but they have submitted a written report.
Yeah.
And we'll put that in the board packet.
Yeah, and that would be totally fine. And it seems like sometimes too, like people come after they've had their event instead of like coming to this
If they
meeting.
want to come, if they approach me and say, I would like to come on this date, I say, fine, then check them off my list. But
Yeah.
those who don't approach, those who don't take the initiative, I can reach out.
Yeah.
I try to prevent it.
Yeah.
Heather, in that spreadsheet, is a great spreadsheet that shows past years. That'd be an interesting other column, is did they come back? So we can track accountability in the next cycle.
Yeah.
Alright.
So make sure you go.
Okay, so we have a motion on the floor. So Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hippo.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Move on.
Congratulations. Thank you for the work that you do.
Yeah.
Good work, you guys. Keep it going. Thank you for coming.
Yeah. Thanks for coming back.
All right. Next on the agenda is the Mesa Verde Venture, is the Green Kiwi 5 LLC DBA Live Well Marijuana License Renewal.
We have two representatives from the club.
Good evening, Board of Trustees for the Town of Mancos. My name is Mitch Blackstone. I represent Green Kiwi 5 LLC, doing business as LiveWell as a member of their licensing and compliance department. I'm honored for the opportunity to be here with you all today. It's a very exciting time to renew a marijuana license in your all's jurisdiction. I'm very pleased to report that our store continues to be in compliance with all state and local requirements for operating a marijuana business, and that we have had no incidents over the last year of business in the town of Mancos. That in mind, I'm happy to answer any questions or address any concerns or issues that you all may have in consideration of our license renewal, and we look forward to continuing operating and having the privilege of being the community partner in your town.
Anybody have any questions?
I do. Are you local or did you come in from?
I came in from Denver.
Okay.
Yep.
Your staff here is really nice.
I'm sorry?
Your staff here is really nice.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Has there been, you guys have recently changed hands, right? Is that?
Do you mean like change of ownership?
Yeah,
That's correct, yeah.
yeah.
Earlier this year.
And it's going okay?
Yeah, I guess as okay as it can.
Okay.
You know, with any merger, there's some road bumps and integration problems, but our new formed company has been operating very well.
Okay.
Excellent.
How do you like the new building?
I love it. We were just over there about 2 hours ago. It looks great. Staff's great. Everything's clean. Really a good spot. So we very much appreciate it.
I will say, there's no odor, and that makes a big difference.
Yeah.
A big, big difference. I spent 7.5 months in the motel next door, and could not smell it. And I'm very, very aware of that smell, and I don't like it at all. So you guys keep your filters clean. Thank you.
Of course.
I
don't like the smell, I like the high.
No,
That's not a good thing if the mayor's aware of the smell.
Well, thank you very much. Please do let us know if you do.
there's neighbors on my block that I'm very aware of the smell. But, okay, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the license for Green Kiwi 5 LLC retail marijuana license renewal
I'll second.
upon approval of the state.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Appellant and a second by trustee Denise Bryant to approve the renewal of the retail marijuana business permit for Green Kiwi 5 LLC, doing business as Live Well, conditional upon receiving the renewal license from the state of Colorado, and authorize the town clerk treasurer to send approval to the state. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hillhart.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. Okay, next on the agenda is the Mesa Verde Ventures LLC transfer of ownership.
I don't believe anyone is here. This is just a request to transfer of ownership to Frost Collective. The marshal and Mancos inspector and myself actually went out to the Mesa Ventures, and they inspected it and made sure nothing has changed and everything that was submitted is correct. And the marshal spoke with the new owner regarding the security system, which she had an issue with, I believe, last time when they were up for renewal. And so she's already taken care of all that. And she's also reached out to the CDOT and already started all the paperwork for that access permit.
They needed a new access permit?
Well, they did because they changed a room or something,
Yes,
right?
they have it
Oh.
on.
Oh,
Remember that? And then, so the new owner's aware of that.
Yes, she's the one who's actually started.
She's
the
doing
paperwork.
that. Okay. It's a she.
Yes.
Allison.
Allison. Go Allison.
Okay. Any other questions or anything on this? Okay, entertain a motion.
I move we approve the change of ownership from Mesa Verde, Mesa Verde Ventures LLC to Frost Collective LLC, conditional upon state approval of retail marijuana cultivation facility and products manufacturing licenses.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Betsy Harrison and a second by trustee Tucker to approve the change of ownership from Mesa Verde Ventures LLC to Frost Collective LLC, conditional upon state approval of retail marijuana cultivation facility and products manufacturing licenses. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hillhart.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda is the letter of support for the Dolores Ranger District.
So Tom Rice reached out to us. This is they applied for this grant annually, and historically, you all have approved or authorized me to send the draft letter of support for their grant. It does not obligate the town either contractually or financially. It just shows our support for his work.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to authorize the town administrator to send the attached letter of support to the Dolores Ranger District.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by trustee Denise Bryant and a second by trustee McManning to authorize the town administrator to send the attached letter of support to the Dolores Ranger District. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hillhart.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Moving right along is the the Board of Adjustments and Appeals.
Yes, so recently we have found a need for a Board of Adjustments and Appeals. So staff reached out to 5, or actually I think they reached out to a bunch of citizens and found 5 that were willing to serve on the Board of Adjustments and Appeals. So those citizens, Fred is here, but so Fred Brooks agreed to serve, Tony Aspermani, Peter Brendamore, he is the chairperson of our planning commission, Brent McWhorter and Gina Roberts. They all have experience on planning and zoning and the board of trustees. So what this will do is this will start a new 3-year cycle. At their first meeting, they will be required to appoint a chairperson, and then there will be an item pending before that board of adjustments. So we're asking the board to appoint these 5 citizens to the board of adjustments so that we can move forward with their implementation.
Well, one of the things that jumped out at me is appointing everybody all at once for a 3-year cycle. That means they're all up for, and so we could end up with a completely new board. So if we have a staggered start kind of thing, or not, well, a staggered finish kind of thing. And so I was wondering if it would make sense to have like 2 of them, their terms expire in 2 years, you know.
I will do that. I will put that on the agenda. I will ask them to stagger their terms. We will ask them to appoint a chairperson, and then we'll hear the other.
Yeah. That way there's a little bit of experience.
Yeah.
And they know that their job is to uphold the code. Okay.
What a concept.
Well, I've been on P&Z.
Yeah.
People have a hard time saying no to people.
Yeah.
So.
Entertain a motion?
I move we appoint Tony Aspermani, Peter Brendamore, Fred Brooks, Brent McWhorter, and Gina Roberts to serve on the Board of Adjustments and Appeals.
Okay, I have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Zuckman and a second by Trustee Richard Toker to appoint Tony Aspermani, Peter Bindemeyer, Fred Brooks, Nathan McWhorter, and Gina Roberts to serve on the Board of Adjustments and Appeals. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Zuckman.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Toker.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Hallam.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryan.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you, Fred, for agreeing to do that. Next on the agenda is the backwater screening fundraiser.
Yeah, so it has come to my attention that, well, first of all, for those of you who may not be aware, there was a film crew here and they moved to the pilot and kind of marketed it out. And I don't know if you all remember Felix Alcala and Chuck Reeves, but so anyway, they've been kind of doing their thing as far as the movie industry goes. But what they wanted to do was they wanted to show a screening of the pilot here at the Opera House as a fundraiser for the National Mustang Association. And for the first time it was shown.
A premiere.
Yes. And then it was canceled. So we reached out. Basically, I just called Felix who referred me to Chuck. So I talked to Chuck and Linda and said, "What is there something that we can do? Why was it canceled? Do we need another venue? Is there, what can we do?" It was just a really neat thing for the town. And basically what they said was we could not afford the audio visual, it was $2,800. So that was the sole reason that the entire event was canceled.
So when you say Chuck,
Chuck Reeves.
okay, right.
He was the screenwriter.
Detective stories.
So we do have some money in our economic development, and I'm sorry, our agency contribution guidelines, GL number. We didn't spend it all this year. So what I'm asking is that we can authorize, the board will authorize to write a check for $2,800 for their audio visual. Then they will work on rescheduling the event for maybe December, late November, early December this year at the Opera House, so it will be local.
Is that a, like, rental, or is that like purchase? Rental.
For the
okay.
Opera House?
Well, it's the audio visual equipment. They left the post-its on my desk. They gave me like a list of their budget with refreshments, and Philip's not charging them the Opera House, you know, that kind of thing. So this would be solely dedicated to the audio visual equipment needed to run
But it would be, that equipment would then belong to the Opera House?
No, no, it's a rental.
It's a rental.
It's a rental.
So this doesn't explain that, it
Gotcha.
doesn't say, it says the cost of, so it needs to.
Now, would we be charging, I mean, I don't know.
They are going to.
They're gonna charge,
Yeah,
and
they'll
then where
charge
does that, is that money they keep then?
It's a fundraiser for the National Mustangs.
Oh, that's what you said,
So
okay,
we're actually
pardon me.
making a donation to the National Mustang Society.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I
That's
think
what we're
we
doing.
probably are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
I just wanted to let you guys know that if we wanted to show it in Vegas, we could do that with this funding. So it's by no means required, but it was kind of a really neat.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think it would be not only neat because of the movie, but also because of the brand new Opera House remodel, you know,
And
front entrance.
Philip and Linda are 100% behind this?
Well, I didn't reach out to Philip and Linda.
They own it.
No, they just own the place that they're renting.
They don't own the movie.
Yeah.
So it's the movie people that want to show the movie here.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's a fundraiser for somebody else. Here's my thought, if we're gonna give this much money to them to do this, I want credit for the town.
Yeah.
As the sponsor. Yeah, you know, and I agree, you know, it's one of those things, it sounds like a really cool thing, it could be really fun, fundraiser for a thing, but I think if, as you say, you know, we should be acknowledged
Exactly.
as, you know,
As the sponsor,
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
yeah,
Or maybe not, maybe we have to find out if there's other sponsors too.
right.
Right.
But as one of the
As a
sponsors,
sponsor.
yeah.
Yeah.
We want to be the gold sponsor, or the platinum
Exactly.
sponsor, the
Platinum.
platinum
It
sponsor.
needs to be up on the screen when they're showing the.
The credits.
Yeah, right,
you
the
know,
credits.
Town of Mancos, yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause,
Yeah.
we don't
I
toot our
think
own
it's a
horn
great
enough.
idea.
No,
I think,
but I think it'd be a cool, fun event,
I do
Yeah,
too.
it is.
Yeah.
you know.
Yep,
It was fun to watch some of the filming.
Well, a bunch of people were in it too, right?
yeah.
Right, there's a lot of
Yeah.
locals in it, yeah.
Talk about economic development.
I know.
Right.
There's put us on the map.
There we go, Jason.
I think it'd be fun.
Is
Do you need a motion?
Heather, do you know any reason, did it get picked up? Is this a one-off? Do you know anything about the bigger picture of that?
This particular event is a one-off.
No,
I received
the film itself.
The film itself was actually just recently listed on the IMDb website.
Okay.
So I'm not exactly clear as far, I know that's an industry website.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just recently listed, but I'm not exactly clear. I can ask Chuck and Linda, hey, what's the status, or I can reach out to Felix. And see what, Felix is the director, so, I can reach out and do some research and see what the status of the movie is.
Yeah.
That'd be great if
Because
they
it'd
came back and did
be
some
kind of
more.
fun to have, like, you know, if it ends up on Netflix or something that some people may not be able to afford, we could do some screenings here on the big TV.
Well, and I will say, if you will follow them on Facebook, they do a big pretty regular. That's
sweet.
that's the only one I know. I'm sure they may
Okay.
be on other social media.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
yeah, because Chris sends me screenshots.
Neat. What a great idea. Thanks for
Yeah,
But we need a
thanks
motion.
for being curious and diving in.
Yeah, we need a motion.
I make a motion, we authorize the expenditure of $2,800 towards the fundraiser for the screening of Badwater at the Mancos Opera House.
I'll second.
Okay, question, do you want it to say, the motion to say for the rental of the AV equipment?
I don't think it needs to, I think it.
The discussions on the record.
Okay, all right, I'm just question. Okay, we have a motion by trustee Nick Manning and a second by trustee Denise Bryant to authorize expenditure of $2,800 toward the fundraiser for the screening of bad water at the Mancos Upper House. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Hillpark.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Manning.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee James Brown.
Okay, your motion carries. Okay, moving right along. Next is the 2022 staff bonuses. Heather.
So, this is something that comes from you, so this is solely at your discretion, your decision. And if you choose to give a staff bonus at this time of year, it is from the trustees to the staff. So, I wanted to make that clear for maybe some of the newer trustees that haven't participated in this process before. So what we've done, and it generally shows appreciation if we're short-staffed, because we're short-staffed in the public works department. If we have gone above and beyond Call of Duty during COVID, that kind of thing. So at this point, I do have just our project list. I do the internal administrator update each month. And I looked at the one that I gave you last time. So for example, 11 of the projects on this list are not on the plan. They weren't discussed during budget or projects last year, but they have come up throughout the year and staff has picked them up and done them in addition to projects that are on the list that you all budgeted for, and they're regular. So there is a basis if you want to offer staff bonuses this year. I do think that you're justified in doing so. I also did some research with regard to what did other municipalities do this year around the state. Quite a lot of them actually did a major cost of living increase. Our budget cannot support an ongoing cost of living increase at this point. So I'm not making a recommendation. What I am saying is if you want to offer bonuses, I do think that you're justified. I also can tell you that our budget can support it. So what I did was I took those cost of living increases that other municipalities have offered, and I just calculated from 1 to 7%. That was what these other municipalities offered this year. And I have given you the total cost to the town. So the only caveat is if you do a 7% on this, we did get slightly in the reserve. It is minimum, so it doesn't give me a lot of heartburn. And we do have a pretty good fund balance in our general fund. We also have some projects planned for next year, but I do think that some unexpected revenue this year.
What does slightly mean, like $500 or like? Okay.
Yeah, so
can we pick and choose who we give these bonuses to?
No.
Because there's
I have-
one in here I don't want to give them to. Keep sweating my work.
The only employee
Sorry, Charlie.
that you do not have to give a bonus to would be myself.
I'll second that motion.
I would be completely okay with that. However, if you're gonna offer this type of bonus for above and beyond, I would not recommend that you pick and choose because every single staff member has done both.
Sure, that would not be okay. I would never
I have a
agree to
question
that.
on this.
I was just teasing.
Is this bonus in addition to the salary increase and the bonus
Yes.
already offered?
This is from this
This is
year.
over and above what has already been budgeted in bonus and merit increase already.
This is for this year. This will be given out the 1st of November so they can go to.
No, I understand that. I understand that.
This
but
goes on
it's in-
2022, does not go on next year's.
I know that. I
budget.
know. But my question is this in addition to the money that we already budgeted for bonuses and merit increases for all the staff
We
members?
didn't give,
We did both.
In 2022, we did a 2% cost of living and a 1% merit bonus.
So far.
You are correct.
Right.
When did we actually, early in the year, when?
We did it at the beginning of the year.
At the fiscal year.
You did, that was what was in the 2022 budget that was adopted in December of 2021.
Right, that's
So,
right.
Implemented in January, correct?
At January, everybody gets their COLA, and then on their anniversary, they
Get their
That's not anniversary, that's what I was asking.
I mean, I think since we can't give another COLA, I think the bonus, I mean, inflation's crazy. We've gotta, it's not only the work ethic and the projects, but it's also just the reality.
Affordability and survival.
Yeah, being a library. I mean, Social Security is about doing 8.7% increase or something. I mean, it's just, we've gotta help the people that make this town run, I think, however we can. I'm in big favor of bonus.
I agree with Nick, and I also think we have to keep our employees. They're so good, and it's really an incentive to stay.
Well, there's without a doubt, we have some of the best employees in this area that we could ask for. I mean, it's the work performance and the outcome of what they do is phenomenal. I commend each and every one of them.
And we have very low turnover, which is what is amazing.
Yeah.
Very low turnover.
I mean, I think 7% might, I don't want to go too far, because we don't want to dread on this one, but,
I'd be willing to give them 5%.
That's kind of where my thought is, somewhere 4.5%, 5%.
In the middle.
Betsy?
I was settling on 5, and then, just to clarify then, this comes again at their anniversary date.
No,
this comes November 1st.
This comes November.
That's what I'm asking you.
No, it doesn't, no.
This bonus is just the end of the year bonus.
Yes, just the end of the year, thank you bonus for.
Nice for the holidays.
Yes.
Thanks for the performance
And we
of the
give
year.
it to them so they can go shopping.
I would like to say maybe 6%. If we can afford it, then I think we should do the 6%.
Richard?
I was with the 5%, but, I mean, we still want to have some money out there. And we do have some projects to go.
This takes those into account. And, but again, you guys can do whatever you want. I would not have recommended these
Yeah.
it would have been tough. But I absolutely would not recommend bonuses if the town.
Yeah.
Cindy?
I'm usually the big tightwad that says government employees shouldn't get bonuses, because I don't. But Richard was in the same boat. But I think, due to all the extra work from the pandemic and that bridge project that went on forever, and, no fault of our staff, but it just took forever. I just think
The sewage treatment plant.
And the extra hours on everybody
what they go
really
through
to help support.
Oh.
And so, I was actually thinking 6. So,
Me too.
yeah.
Okay, I need a motion.
I move we recommend approve a 6% bonus for year end for staff.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson and a second by Trustee Denise Bryant to give a 6% bonus to our staff for 2022. Jamie, would you call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Cindy Simpson.
Aye.
Trustee Betsy Harrison.
Aye.
Trustee Richard Topar.
Aye.
Trustee Nicholas Neal.
Aye.
Trustee Ed Helm.
Aye.
Trustee Denise Bryant.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries.
So we will probably jump in this the first or second week in, the first week of November. We will coordinate to do with thank you cards, because they come from to the staff. So I'll bring the thank you cards to the first meeting in November, and then we'll get them stuff.
Great.
Because you guys like them to have them before lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
next on the agenda is the items for the October 26, 22 agenda. Looks like we've got 5 on there. We got resolution to be determined, annual adoption of the 3 Mile Plan, a public hearing on the La Rio Cantina Tavern liquor license, ordinance on weeds, rubbish, and trash, ordinance on disturbing the peace and municipal public service, and the third quarter 2022 financial and work plan updates. And we need to do Heather's.
I will not be here on October 26th. You're welcome.
No, oh. No, they knew, we need to do that the first week in, the first meeting in November, to put that on the agenda for November. But guys, we need, has everybody done their?
No.
Okay. All right, you guys need to get your Survey Monkey done. So there was only 4 done. So I don't know who's done them. I'm going to ask you, but you guys need to get them done so Cindy and I can get together and make the responses so that we can have that together for her review on the November meeting.
And if you all would like to move it out, you're welcome to put an executive session on this agenda. If you would like to do it out, we're still need to.
We're good at talking about you, Gummy.
Yeah.
We're not scared of
You
you.
usually take, well, I am a little bit, but.
We can set up a dates for whatever works for you.
Just, everybody, please get them this week if possible, so, because I will be gone next week, Thursday and Friday. I'm going to the Mayor's Summit in Denver. So I'll be leaving Wednesday. And so then Cindy and I'll need to get together the next week. So please get them done so that you can, so we can get that information.
Just tell them ASAP.
Can you guys like resend that link? Cause I did, but I need to change or do something else. And so, and it won't let me go back in.
Yeah, okay. I will resend it.
Okay, thank you.
Send it
It
to
wouldn't
everybody.
let me in.
It wouldn't let me back in. I went, oh, I gotta do this. And
You've got
So-
mine, right?
I've gotten 4.
so she doesn't know who she
I
is.
don't know
Yeah.
who, I don't know, it doesn't
Yeah, I
sound
got it.
anonymous, so.
Did you say you're not here the 26th?
Yes, Jamie and I will be in at
That's when you're in Utah.
It won't let you.
I'm kind
No,
of
it won't
wondering
let me
about
back
this
in.
public meeting for the tavern.
Yes.
Is there, if there's issues there and you're not here to guide us, what are we?
Justin and David will be here.
We'll do our, we'll prep Justin.
Okay.
And David will.
And David will
And
be
David
here.
will be here.
Yeah.
Okay.
That doesn't help, he's a lawyer.
Yeah, I was like, he can probably do the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
We can make you zoom it.
All
No, don't do that.
All right. Adjournment?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All right.
All right. Very gentle.
I give him $2,800.
I know, right?
I know, but she's
Heather?
really distracting.
I'm sorry.
I know, and I just gently don't want to.
Oh, no.
But if maybe we can change these next time, I can go.
Well, this is just a hell of a lot bigger. There was just so much
Yeah,
stuff.
and we looked
I
at
know.
I got some.
I was impressed you printed the whole thing.
But then I had it, you know,
And
it's too much to go up and down through the thing.